What is up? What is up? Welcome back to another NBA Rundown brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined today by Tyler Hicks. Hoop is usually here on Wednesday. He is traveling to see his family, so we wish Hoop, all the guests, and everybody watching a very Merry Christmas. Tyler, what did you think of the NBA last night? We don't have a big slate. We got a little time. We can talk some other things.
I mean, it was pretty. The Indiana game surprised me. I didn't think Miami was going to shoot lights out from three like that.
Pacers suck.
I mean, New York got the job done against Detroit. Cade Cunningham had a pretty decent game. He didn't put up a ton of points, but he almost tripled.
You called that. Yeah, you called that.
I'm pulling up some of the other box scores from yesterday. I couldn't remember some of the matchups. I did watch that Lakers-Suns game at the end and seen LeBron tweak his ankle. I mean, that team's just so bad spread without AD. Like, they're built so bad. Pelicans got the job done against the Trailblazers like we thought. And then the Mavericks somehow beat the T-Wolves. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, Mavericks shot really well from behind the arc too. And, that was rough. Those back, I kind of knew better on those back-to-backs. That happens a lot, where they split. So, especially with the home and then the home game there. But, Tyler, you caught me. The real reason I want to do this recap, let's slander the Lakers, man. I never had so much fun losing a bet in my life. That team looks terrible. Jonathan Nelson, what happened to your guys, man? I'll admit I lost the bet. I took the +7. That team looked old, man. And we can't slander LeBron. He did everything he could. The only thing that I would say bad about him, he's got to stop arguing those calls every time he goes to the rim, right? He just gives the other team a free fast break. Yeah.
But yeah, you look at this box score. I mean, outside of him, 34, 7, and 2. Russ put up 22, 10, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor and Horton Tucker, 3 points, 1 for 13 from the field. Ellington, 3 points, 1 for 4. Isaiah Thomas, 3 points, 1 for 11 from the field. I mean, this team just shot so bad. The next highest scorer behind them guys was Ariza with 12 points.
I thought the G League was going to be higher quality. You look at Isaiah, he can drop 46 in the G League. He looked lost out there, man. He had no business being on that court. Horton Tucker, he's going to be a fine player. I like him. Obviously, he had a bad night. I saw some people talking about Trevor Ariza and how he's going to help this team. He looks pretty slow too, man. I mean, he's going to be able to make those open jump shots and space the floor on the offense. But I think if you're counting on him for defense, I think some of these younger players are just going to tear them apart. And you watch what those guys, Bridges, who's the guy that you guys were like? Cam Johnson, right?
Yeah, Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
Put up 14 and 8 yesterday.
Yeah. So anyways, that was the most fun I've had losing money all year, right? It was almost like I felt like I just paid for the enjoyment, right? It cost me a full.
We got the shit on that LA team, and then that bonus NFL segment we did yesterday on the other LA team got the money home.
Oh, dude, that was so awesome. And then my favorite was that Cooper Kupp.
The 2 touchdowns.
The plus 400.
Yep.
Oh, dude. I mean, it just felt like, how do we get plus 400 on this, right? I mean, how much fun was that? So, hey, the NFL was great. We're almost ready for best bets, Gregory Russo, because, boy, there's so much stuff. Howard, right? He was a big part of my handicap, right, Tyler, because we were kind of debating. I said Dwight Howard was going to be able to do okay down low against Ayton. He didn't even play. Okay, let's talk about people who don't deserve to be on the floor. Deandre Jordan. What's he doing? Do you remember when he was so young and athletic?
Yeah, he just doesn't have it anymore. Like,
dude,
he was always just athletic. That was it. Like, he had no basketball skill.
If you want to see what Father Time does to these guys, right? I mean, how could you be such a stud? And then, I mean, the fact is, so Ariza and Isaiah Thomas, right? They didn't really plan to play those guys a lot of minutes. The fact that they went into the season planning on DeAndre Jordan being their starting center has to be an indictment of everything that went on in that game. So let's jump on to tonight. And Tyler, I mean, what are we doing? Full transparency.
Injury reports are ginormous today.
This is so hard. Like, full transparency. Like, this is tough. This is really hard to do. So, I write with the Bet US team, and every morning I give out, a favorite play, like regardless. So, like on the Run Pure spreadsheet, if I don't like it, I can just go ahead and take the day off. There I go every day. I chose Chicago. My idea was I'm fading the Raptors here as they're absolutely decimated by COVID. Now, that game and my favorite play of the day is off the board. So we will continue with everything else. I mean, yeah, like you said, these injury reports. I mean, and it's so tough too, because Okay, so college players, right? We're a lot of these guys we've only seen play in college, and we've seen just from the NBA drafts, like the absolute best talent evaluators in the NBA can't tell who's going to translate to the NBA level, right? So how are we that are basically just like taking advantage of like mathematical inconsistencies going to be able to do it if those guys can't do it? But we're going to do our best. The Orlando Magic are +7. They're heading to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. I mean, Tyler, I guess we got some time to kill. I can read the injury report. Markel Fultz, Terrence Ross, RJ Hampton, Etwan Moore, Ignas Brzezkis, I don't know who that is, Mo Bamba, Moritz Wagner, Michael Mulder. Was he on X-Files? Michael Carter-Williams, all out for the Magic. On the Atlanta side, no Danilo Gallinari, no Trae Young, no Clint Capella. So they got most of their team. They're just missing two of their three best players. Bogdan Bogdanovic might be back. He is probable. Wendell Carter and Cole Anthony both questionable for the Magic. Tyler, how do we cap this game at 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern?
I mean, Orlando is already bad. Now they're missing a ton of their guys, so it's like Atlanta or no play, my guess. Just give me the under in this game, though. I mean, all of Atlanta's scoring punch is pretty much out with Trae Young. Bogdanovic is still banged up. We've seen how he plays when he's not at 100%. I like the Herder over on assist call, because he will have the ball in his hands a lot here. I also don't mind his points prop over 15.5, because someone's going to have to score the ball in this game for them. And I think their guards are going to have a bit more success than the big men against this Orlando team. So give me Atlanta here in the under, and I like Huter's assist and his over points.
Well, I'm proud of you for finding an angle on this game, because I mean, I'm like, okay, what's the point of even running the model here? Like what numbers do I have that's going to help me predict this? Total 208. You like the under. I think I agree with you there. And good job. Actually, isolating some nice props that, I didn't do a lot of prep work on it, but when you say them right now, they sound pretty good to me. So here's the game I actually do like as well. The Cleveland Cavaliers are +6.5 heading to Boston. Of course, you'd say, why are they that? They're third in the East. Well, Evan Mobley, Lamar Stevens, Jarrett Allen, Dylan Windler, Ed Davis, RJ Nembhard, I don't know him, Isaac Okoro are all out for the Cavaliers, which is why they're catching so many points. But let's look at who they still do have, right? I got Kevin Love still in the front court. I still have Lauri Markkanen. I still have Darius Garland. I still have Ricky Rubio. Obviously, they're hurting with depth. And what sucks is when I originally made this pick, I didn't know that Lamar Stevens was out. I thought he was doing a pretty good job on the defensive end, doing in that Okoro style role. We're not getting that from them tonight, but still, I'll take the 6.5. Now you look at the Celtics team. They are missing some people, but they got their stars. So they're missing Al Horford, Sam Hauser, who cares? Juan Hernan Gomez, Josh Richardson. He's actually played well. He had 27 the other night. Grant Williams, he's a pretty good three-point shooter. So that's a loss. Obviously he's okay as a big man too. Broderick Thomas, don't really know a lot about him. And of course, Jabari Parker, the ultimate one-way player, right? He's like Enes Kanter Freedom as a power forward. Robert Williams is back. So pissed that I picked Boston the other night, and then Williams went out, and then Embiid was able to roll over Freedom. Normally, I would say Williams means a lot, but they're not really going to try and go through the post a lot, right? So, I mean, let's say they do take Kevin Love away, which they won't, because he's not going to go down low against Williams. Even if he does, he's so old, man. He's got that old man YMCA game now down low. He can score, I still think, even against the best post defenders. And, of course, he can bring Williams outside. This is a game of uncertainty, and I think you take the points here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely an ugly game, but Cleveland's big advantage is with these big guys, and they're both out here. They also lose one of their better wing defenders in Okoro, and you don't have Lamar Stevenson. Tatum and Brown are just going to eat on this team, so I think they're going to win the game. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to cover by 7, so I'm looking at the performance doubles. You can get Jaylen Brown 25-plus points, which he's hitting 2 of his last 3 games, and Boston to win it +300. I don't hate that. Or you could just take his points prop over 21.5.
Yeah, I like both those. Probably the points prop, man. I don't want to count Cleveland out, right? I just they're 25-6 against the spread this year. And
yeah, but that's with most of the guys though. They don't have their big guys, which is their giant advantage.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree with that. I just like the way that Rubio and Garland have been playing, and I think that they sneakily can match Brown and Tatum, even though Brown and Tatum have the bigger names. That's a pretty good backcourt. And Garland's going to look really fast out there on that court, right? I mean, Schrader's a quick guy too, but I think that Garland's going to be able to do what he wants. Of course, if he gets shut down by Marcus Smart, all bets are off, including mine, and they probably don't cover. So I think that's the matchup to look for. Let's see how Garland does against Smart. But if he's able to get it done really against that top-level defense that Smart provides, great sign for the Cavaliers going forward. And I do like your prop, especially just taking the Brown and not even worrying about who wins the game. Houston Rockets +9 heading to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. The Bucks will be without Giannis and Bobby Portis were the big name players. Let me see about the rest of these players. Who else is out? Not too much, actually. Just DiVincenzo as well. Rodney Hood's back. Wesley Matthews is back. Chris Middleton is back. On the Houston side, really, this is actually one of the cleanest reports we got. Kevin Porter's out. He's been out for a little bit. Jalen Green's out. He's been out for close to a month now. Christian Wood, probable. I expect him to play. Eric Gordon will be in the lineup. I'm going to take the points with the Rockets. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it, but I still think Milwaukee wins the game. Now, 10's a lot, but probably going to stay away from the side in this game just because Houston's been so bad. Yes, they've had their runs of covering games and everything.
But usually they're bad when Gordon's out.
Yeah, but I just don't like this matchup for them either because, their guards are just going to get locked up by Holiday and these guys. And maybe Wood has a little bit of an advantage down low, but Boogie still could cause him some problems down there. He's going to have to shoot a lot of shots.
Not on defense.
Down under the hoop, he's strong enough to keep him away from the hoop.
All right, that'll be an interesting. I disagree with you there. I think he can eat Boogie apart.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing I'm really looking at in this game, other than the under, because I think that total is a bit too high, is Drew Holiday over 20.5 points. I like that number. He went off in his last couple games, so I think he definitely gets over that against his weak backcourt in Houston. I'm
going to go back to the Cleveland game real quick because Huntley asked the question. He says, if Love doesn't play, what happens? I just answered, I don't bet it. So keep an eye on that. And back to your breakdown, you like Drew Holiday there. I can see it. Holiday kind of sometimes when he gets overactive on the defensive end, it suffers on the offense.
But there's not like a star guard who's going to have to take out the game.
Yeah, and that's where I was going with that. I do like your play because Eric Gordon's not really going to tire him out, right? And so who are they going to run? So it's so crazy. I've actually been using DraftKings just to figure out who's on these rosters, right? Because, they do a good job of rostering everyone that's playing. So let's look at just the guard area for Houston. And I'm going off DraftKings, right? So no John Wall. I don't see why they don't even bring him back at this point. So you have Eric Gordon, Armani Brooks. Obviously he's not going to tire Holiday out, but what do you think of him? And then, of course, a lot of people are high on Josh Christopher, who is a rookie this year, I believe, was the 4th of the Houston draft picks there. I think he's got some potential too. Do you have any thoughts on Armani Brooks and Christopher?
No, I think they're solid players, but I don't think they're going to do enough to tire a guy out like Drew Holiday.
Right.
Drew Holiday's used to chasing guys like Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, Devin Booker around. He's not going to get tired out by these guys.
Yeah. So I really like your look there. So Tyler likes the prop of Drew Holiday, and I like the Houston Rockets +9, +10. I think you wait. I think the money goes in that direction, especially with Middleton being ruled in. But Tyler, I'll tell you what, I think there's a great chance that both of us can cash because just because Holiday goes over that number, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Bucks win by double digits. So I like both those.
He cleared that number in his last game and they lost by 4. He put up 40.
Yeah, so that's why I like both those plays, and it's almost like a hedge because if Holiday does completely go off and go and put up 40 and the Rockets lose by a lot, you just split the game. But I'm going to play both those, and I think I really like this game. I think this is our best chance to go 2-0, and I think it's not a surprise, right, that the game that I feel most confident about is the one with the shortest injury report. Because we can trust our numbers and trust what we've seen. Actually, the injury report on OKC is not that bad either. So let's have fun with this one. The Denver Nuggets are now -6. Doesn't surprise me that they took money. Who wants to bet the Thunder right now? If it's less than double digits, if they're like +10, I'm interested. Not at +6. Let's take a look at the injury report real quick because how can we handicap the NBA without doing that at this moment? JaMychal Green, questionable. Bol out. Aaron Gordon, questionable. Mike Muscala out. And Trey Mann, questionable. Pretty clean on the OKC side. I still like the Nuggets. I think that when we watch, the shows that we enjoy, right? NBA Hardwood Live, right? So much fun watching that. I think those guys are going to tell you to spend up with Jokic. I'm not a DFS professional, right? But I would put
Yeah,
minus
against
200.
this soft OKC front
Yeah.
court, he's going to eat tonight.
He's going to be set.
He's
He's probably 50% owned, but who cares?
Spread he gave it out, and then he got
Yeah.
ejected when he needed one more assist.
Uh-huh.
I think he gets the triple-double tonight.
Yeah. I was talking with Holden earlier. Holden was pretty upset that the points rebounds total for him was like 51.5 or something. That's how high
ridiculous.
Can you imagine he puts up 22, 10, and 10 and you don't hit your PRA? So anyways, I like the Nuggets here. What do you think? So first of all, I haven't bet anything yet, right? I put out my articles, but it's like you just have to wait for news. And I think the people reading understand that and aren't going to be mad, right? That I'm not just completely flying solo. And I will mention in the article, like the news that I'm waiting on, right? So, for content creation, this sucks, but I still think you can find edges betting. But, I don't know if there's an actual quote on this, but I'm sure Yoda preached patience at some point if you're a Star Wars fan. So I'll listen to Yoda, be patient. But I'm pretty close to jumping in on both of the last two games that you mentioned, especially after we talked about that Rockets game. Nuggets -6. I'm ready to place the bet. I'm ready to hit submit. Can you talk me out of it, Tyler?
No, I like the Nuggets here. I think they have potential to blow OKC out, which I think could hinder the Jokic triple-double. But I think that -5.5 is a bit short here.
Yeah, you got 5.5. I got 6. I like them at both the numbers. Signed, I'll do a quick little a tennis right at the end. Boy, those are some interesting numbers you put up. Let us move on to the final game of the night. It's in Sacramento, but probably no one will go because we don't care about this terrible team anymore. Boy, it sucks just to have such a beautiful arena and such a terrible product on the floor. Hopefully no fans puke on the floor tonight, but if they do, I cannot blame them. The Los Angeles Clippers are now -4 playing the Sacramento Kings. I liked them at -6 earlier, Tyler. This line's moved. It's moved towards the Kings. Is this the market biting on the Kings? No, it's news. Hartenstein's out. Luke Kennard's out. Marcus Morris is out. Reggie Jackson is all out for the Clippers. Paul George is back, though. On the Kings side, De'Aaron Fox. I thought this was funny. Nemus Quita, right? Underdog tweets it out yesterday. Nemus Quita's out. His first response is like, okay, you're just making names up now, And I couldn't help but laugh at that one. Let me go back to this injury report. Davion Mitchell is out. Aid Murphy's in. I've never heard of him. Maybe a college basketball fan can help me there. Terrence Davis still out. Lewis King, who was supposed to come up and help us from the G League, has caught in COVID. Great trip. Glad you came up from Reno. We've got Emmanuel Mudiay, Tyler. What do you think of that? Rashawn Holmes questionable. Marvin Bagley out. Alex Len still out. What are we doing in this game, Tyler? I mean, I want to take the Clippers because Paul George is going to be so much better than every single other player on the floor. But I don't want to be accused of being square. Talk to me about it, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, what a better duo than Emmanuel Mudiay and Marvin Bagley on the same team. And what a better place than Sacramento to put them.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree with you. Clippers got to be the side here. Even with the guys out for them coming off the bench, it's just going to open up more shots for a guy like BJ Boston. Yep. And the guys on Sacramento's bench, Davion Mitchell, who would likely give him troubles, aren't going to be there.
Yeah, he's not there.
This could be another one of them big games for him where he puts up like 20-plus points. I was trying to see if I could find props on him. I don't see any yet, but if those get posted, I definitely want the overs on that.
Yeah, and you guys, I know that you guys love to watch the show because Tyler is so good at the props. He's not holding out on you today, guys. They're just not posting them because with this lineup news in flux, right? They just don't want to put up these bad numbers. So, of course, to get access to these props as he puts up closer to game time as the starting lineups are revealed and we get the final information news, you'll have to become a member of runpurebets.com. Head on over there, use the promo code BETS25 off to become a member. Tyler, I think that when we're watching the shows, because I'm going to watch it later today, I got a busy afternoon, but I'll have it on even if I'm not in the chat. I think they're going to give out Buddy Hield. When his props come up, are you interested in him at all? He's been playing well, and I think his usage is going to be insane.
I mean, I don't hate him. His points prop's 19.5.
Oh, so you do have a prop for him?
Yeah, his props are up. I was just waiting on a BJ Boston one.
Okay.
That's the one. That's the guy I want to target in this game. But yeah, Buddy Hield 19.5. It's pretty low when he's going to be a big source of the offense here. But his threes are set at 4.5. I mean, that's Steph Curry range. I'm not betting that over.
It's because that's all he shoots.
Yeah, but
it's almost like the same bet. It's really almost the same bet, right?
Yeah, very true.
I can't see one of those going over and the other one not. But I think I'd probably, feel safer. But he doesn't even get fouled very much. Huntley for MVP is asking you, Tyler, Halliburton double-double. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't hate it because he's going to be the starting point guard. He could get you 10 assists, and he's going to score at least 10 points here. So it's not a bad bet.
I mean, for those watching, and I mean, like, why would you watch the Sacramento Kings? So here, I did it for you, right? I suffered just for the people, just for the show. Halliburton's looked really good with Fox out of the lineup. If there was ever calls to trade one of them, and this was just not a good complementary duo, I think that, Halliburton has shown with him out of the lineup that that's the case. And you know what I go to? And of course, this is such an exaggerated comparison, Tyler, but it reminds me of Monte Ellis and Steph, right? So Monte Ellis was a fan favorite, big contract, awesome on the offensive end. Not only did he put up the points, right? He gave you the highlights and the reason to go to the arena. The fans loved him. People were pissed when that trade was made, but Jerry West was in the front office. Him and the other guys knew, hey, we got this kid and we might have potential. Now, of course, I don't think Halliburton has Steph Curry potential, but I do think that it is a case kind of like Monte Ellis where I think he'd really thrive and grow and show what a good player he could be if they were able to move on from Fox. Addition by subtraction, this team needs forwards. Let's get, usually I'm not big on trades, but there's so many teams that just are not built correctly. The Kings, the Blazers, the Pacers, right? And then there's contenders that just need one more piece. Like I see why people are so excited for trade season this season. What else do you have on this game, Tyler? Or do you want to move straight to best bets?
Yeah, we just move straight to best bets. I mean, there's nothing really left on this ugly matchup other than if they post BJ Boston props, look for those overs.
But hold on, I'm sorry. I talk so much. I don't know if I missed your answer. What do you think of me jumping in with the Clippers -4 right now? Is that too square?
No, I don't hate it. I mean, Paul George is going to be the best player on the floor, head and shoulders above everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
They should have probably like 3, 4, and 5 of the next best players on the floor also. So I think they'll be fine.
Tim S119 in the chat. Terrence Mann points and assists over. Book has an updated lines 12.5, 2.5, both at plus money. You got to hit that, Tim. But do you have numbers for Terrence Mann that are not stale? And what do you think of his output tonight, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to score points too because Paul George can't do it all by himself. Mm-hmm. But I just hate the fact that he's out there with him most of the time, and that offense just goes directly to Paul George.
Yeah, I think he will be the reasonable second option with Reggie Jackson out. The question is, can he get it done? But he's going against the Kings defense. So any night to blow up, it's like this. Hey, we got a little extra time. Signed Collectibles wants to know, is there any in-season futures you like? DK has division wins, playoffs, and conference seeding over, under. I'll talk a little bit, Tyler. Do you mind looking those up real quick and let him know? Because I know that you're signed in to DK right now.
Yeah, I can look them up.
Yeah, why don't you look those up and I'll just kind of, riff on them real quick. Some division ones that are interesting. I think Cleveland's interesting to win their division, although they are in Milwaukee's and Chicago's division, I believe. So it's so funny. Like we barely even know the divisions anymore because all that matters is conference. The regular season win totals, I don't know if you can find an edge at this point in the season signed because they're pretty correlated to the information we already have. I think that's a little tougher. The reason I like your division and your playoffs ones is because you're mitigating two teams. So I think it's easier to find, where the books have messed up. Where on the regular season win totals, I think mathematically those are all pretty sound. And I don't really want to tie up the money for that long. I'd much go for the division. The playoffs, I still really like. Hey, Tyler, one that I was pumping to start the season, right? And then I'm bumping my chest after 10 games was the Wizards to make the playoffs. Do you still think they can make it? I don't know, man. I'm kind of out on that team.
I mean, maybe if they get hot, but I don't see it.
Yeah, they look so good. They look to be like everything that I'd hoped they would be to start the season, and then it just kind of fell apart. And then Dinwiddie's already kind of flustered with his role next to Beal. Beal's output is greatly dropped, right? Harrell's been good, but it's weird because they paid Gafford. It's like they go with a guy that's worse just to justify the amount that they paid. What did you find there? Do you have the lines pulled up on DK?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything in like conference or division winners that's not -300 or -3,000 that's pushing just too far to the outside. And then, I mean, Eastern Conference, maybe you take a shot on like a Miami to win it +550, but
they're only +550.
Yeah, I'm not looking to get in on these futures because we have no idea what these teams are going to be by the end of the year. So you got to wait. The only one maybe I'd play is you could still get DeJounte Murray at +750 to win most improved player.
How about this? Do you have the playoff yes no's? Can you pull those up real quick? And then why don't you read them off to me and I'll tell you what I like, because we got a little extra time today on this short slate, and then we basically were saying it's very tough.
Here, let me see if a different book has them.
All right. Yeah, I'd be really interested to see on the playoffs, yes, no, because I think there might be some value there.
All right, who are we looking for?
I mean, I just go through. I'm trying to think, like Atlanta is going to be too heavily. Anything that's like less than minus 200 or something like that. Give me those numbers.
I mean, the Trailblazers, their no is minus 215. Their yes is plus 170.
Okay, I'm all in on their yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate their yes. Clippers, yes, minus 200. No, plus 160.
I don't want to play minus 200 on the Clippers, but I think they
Hornets,
sure.
no, minus 115. Yes, minus 105.
Yes is minus 105 for the Hornets?
Yeah.
I kind of like that because I think they have a good chance to be buyers at the deadline, and all they really need is a center, and those are the easiest things to pick up, right? They're like running backs. Like teams are not in love with their centers, and those are usually the first ones that they're willing to trade. Okay, I kind of like the yes there for the Hornets. What else you got for me?
I mean, everything else is like minus 1,000. So
okay,
yeah.
All right. Well, there
Lakers
we go.
Minus 370 to the yes, minus plus 280 to the no. You wanted to get fancy.
Why? How do I not take the no there?
Yeah.
So let's say you're making the case for the yes, right? Anthony Davis comes back. Obviously, that improves the team. I mean, I was watching last night, and I made the point earlier in the week, and I just felt like I was patting myself on the back, for just nailing it. That guy was doing so much to glue that defense together, and that's why I felt like he was struggling on the offensive end. Almost like Aaron Gordon when he became like a defensive stopper, like lost all his offense. Now, obviously, Aaron Gordon is like 3 magnitudes lower as an overall player than Anthony Davis. But boy, you watch how much he means to that defense. Can we trust Davis to stay healthy, right? He's already out for another 4 to 6 weeks. While he's out, that's putting extra wear and tear on LeBron. I don't really care about Russ. Obviously, he helps a little bit, but I'm not really too worried if he gets hurt. But, I mean, even last night, right? And I loved it because I put LeBron in the little DK lineup, and I was head-to-head. And then I was so close to min cashing, but I didn't get there last night. Jalen Noah was the one that really put me under. But I mean, why was he coming in down 20 with 5 minutes to go? Like, what were they doing out there, right? I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, that was just bad coaching.
Yeah, I think there's a chance. So, what do you mean, Jonathan Nelson? Are you laughing at me, or do you agree with me?
I think he's laughing at you.
No, I mean, hey, that's fine because it's a hot take, right? But you're getting what, plus 280?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. There are factors that can factor in. LeBron did tweak his ankle last night too, so I mean, I know it's not a bad injury, but it could turn into something worse. He does it again.
Dude, that was such the performance. Didn't he look like he was going to be out for the year? And then he didn't even miss 1 second. Jay Crowder was over there just smirking. But
I know he says he agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best number on the board right now because the market's still going to love them. They still have the potential. Like out of all like the terrible teams right now, they have like the highest ceiling, right? That they can just flip a switch and make us all eat our words. But with AD not being healthy, you're just putting too many miles on LeBron at this early in the season. Why did he come back in down 20? I mean, like what are we doing there? You're starting Isaiah Thomas. Jonathan Nelson's done with this team. Cool. Come join the Kings. Learn what real frustration is like. All right, Tyler, that was a lot of fun. I think I should actually out of all those, let's just go no on the Lakers. And hey, I'd be happy when I won money instead of being happy when I lost money night. There's like 3 or 4 games that I actually ended up liking after doing this exercise. The Magic and the Hawks, I don't feel strong on, but the other 4 leans that I gave out, I actually think are pretty attractive. So help me find the best bet. What's your best bet today, Tyler? Side total.
I'm going to roll with that Jaylen Brown over 21.5 points. I just don't see either of them guys in Cleveland's backcourt giving him much of troubles on the defensive end. Mm-hmm. We know he'll chuck the ball up. It's been 19, 20, 23, and 30 points in his last 4, so he's hanging right around that number. Great matchup. I think he gets over it tonight.
All right. My best bet, there's so many good ones here. So I do like the Cavaliers, but hey, I don't want to go against the Celtics. There is a chance that I could be completely wrong in how bad they look. I really like the Rockets, right? But I'm going with the lottery team versus the defending champions. There's probably no reason to take that. So now I've narrowed it down to either the Nuggets against the Thunder or the Clippers against the Kings. They're pretty similar. I like both of them a lot. Give me the Nuggets, though. Let's go against the Thunder. They are worse, and that matchup is just too much. It's just going to be too much there. Jokic in the middle for the Thunder. I think the Nuggets get it done. I think they have incentive to get out early and really win, maybe get some rest going into the Christmas break. So I like the Nuggets. Tyler likes Jaylen Brown over 21 points. We did have a tennis question that I said I'd get to at the end. Where was it? I scrolled too far. He asked me, what do you think for the Australian Open of Muguruza 20-1 and Karatsev minus 60-1? I mean, at minus 160 or 160-1, it's like hard for me to say no. I don't think Djokovic is going to play, so that opens it up. But really, it's hard for me to not see Medvedev or Zverev winning. But 160-1, I think it's worth a punt. Mugu, same thing on the price. 20-1, I think you can make a punt. We have seen players that are coming off the win at the WTA finals. It usually bodes well for their success at the beginning of the next season. So I think that's a great reason for Muguruza. But I really think that we're going to see Ash Barty come back strong. I think that Barty's stock got lowered a little bit because she was so tired at the end of the year. Because remember, Australian players cannot return home because of the crazy COVID rules that they have in Australia. She's back home. She will be playing at home. She should be the most comfortable there. She has less idea to quarantine. So 20-1, I can't tell you not to take it, but I really think Barty's got a great chance. And I think I might just go for a Medvedev Zverev Dutch on the men's side. Last question. We'll put this one for you, Tyler. We're doing everything today, not just NBA. What do you think of the Georgia players testing positive for college football? You know a lot more about college football than I do. Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of bad for them, but also it's the backup quarterback and only one of the receivers. Mm-hmm. Michigan's offense isn't something crazy that's just going to like air it out like Alabama did against them.
Right.
And I think they'll be able to cut everything off underneath still. So I think they'll still be fine. Now,
all right.
They probably need that receiver to beat Alabama in the championship if they're there, but I think they'll be fine for the Michigan game.
All right. Like I said, it's a very tough day to navigate the NBA. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with us and just hearing our thoughts, even though we're not able to tout, a bunch of like surefire winners and games that we love. I think that if you've been following the NBA and the sports world in general right now, you're going to give us a little leeway with that. And we're just being honest. These games are hard to handicap, especially this early, because I'll tell you what, at full strength, I'd love the Clippers at -6. I'm glad I didn't make that bet already, because now it's -4. I've got the chance, right? So I've been patient to wait on this news. Just for Run Pure members, as things are going forward, I'll probably be hitting the sheet late for that very reason. So I'll make sure to put it in the Discord, because usually I like to put them up in the morning. You have all day to check the sheet, get the play, and they might be a little closer to tip. So I'll make sure to notify everybody when I make those plays. And hey, if you guys can notify your friends, family, and colleagues that enjoy the NBA and betting on sports, please share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tyler, any more words of wisdom before we sign off?
No, I mean, you already hit on it. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and we'll be back tomorrow. NBA rundown, then we get the NFL preview for this weekend. Yeah, I can't wait. So, yeah, we'll do double duty tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. Tyler is going to lead the way with the NFL. And, of course, I've got all the spicy NBA takes. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Remember, Run Pure Bets, promo code BETS25 off to become a member. We appreciate your support. Run